Hi, everyone. My name is Ian Gabriel Finch. Welcome to my channel. So, to start off, in the not so distant past, I found myself in a toxic work environment that I simply found unacceptable. So, I quit my job in the entertainment industry and decided to bank on myself, to invest in myself, and become a creative entrepreneur. In January of 2024, I opened up an LLC called Seeking Spirit Entertainment with the purpose of starting a blog to go after my passion, my one last passion of writing. I want to be a fiction writer. And the way I saw to get there is to create a blog, writing about my journey to becoming a fiction writer and about starting my life from scratch in my 50s and living my best life. So, part of this, the purpose of doing this blog, is also to inspire my niece Annie, who I love very much and who a few years back have suffered from a traumatic brain injury from an accident. And we've become very close. We speak almost every day. And one of the things that I wanted to do was to inspire her to continue to dream big and to focus on getting back into the world. She had a business as a cosmetologist, and that's one of the things that survived the accident with her traumatic brain injury. She had to shut down her business. But she knows everything about hair. And we talk a lot about hair, a lot about other things. But I have so much respect for her, for how she is putting her life back together. But I just want to be a source of inspiration for her, with her seeing what I went through in my past work environment. And she was very encouraging to me. So I want to return the favor by taking a leap of faith in myself and showing her that you can start your life from scratch. She has to do it in her life, and ironically, I'm doing it in mine. So here I am. In February, I started a blog, and it's at I don't know if I mentioned this, at www.iangabrielfinch.com. I've been doing that for a few months, and one of the consistent comments I got was, "Oh, it's great, but people don't read as much as they used to. You might want to look at doing like a podcast and something, or create an audio version of what you're writing about." I decided to give that a shot. So this week, I opened up a YouTube channel and made 3 audio clips of previous posts that I made on my blog. I figured I would be able to use YouTube as another opportunity to create passive income by monetizing the YouTube channel. Little did I know, until I started to do it myself, is that you need 1,000 subscribers and 3,000 hours of public viewing of your clips uh, in order to qualify for application to the YouTube Partnership Program. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to realize that my making audio clips of my blog posts is not going to attract 1,000 followers. I decided, after a lot of thought, to use the skills that I have to dive head in 100% into making YouTube clips. For the most part, it's going to be about starting my life from scratch after 50. Let's be honest. Um, so uh, there we are. Okay, so why don't we jump right into it? The title of this blog is 5 Tips on How to Start Your Life from Scratch After 50. Now, let's be real. I am not an expert on any of this. I am a self aware human being, so I know these 5 tips are largely 5 tips that I need to be implementing in my life because I am a gay man in my 50s, starting over, and I am 53 pounds overweight. I've been much of a recluse for the last few years, and I've spent my emergency fund getting myself to this place. So these 5 tips are as much for me as they are for you. And what I'm doing is really sharing these tips that I've found out about and intend to, over the course of time making YouTube clips, I'll be focusing on implementing these tips in my own life because I want to get myself to a place where I am living my best life. So let's get started. Okay. Tip number 1 is getting your mental and physical health to be flexible and strong. So I learned recently that as you get older, if you're hurt from a fall, your chances of recovering from that fall become harder as you age. So it's really important to start, if you haven't already, a yoga practice, a meditation practice, an exercise program regarding with stretching and strength training, either at home or at a gym, so that you are physically able to handle accidents that may come along. Also, after going through the pandemic, I am really aware of the importance of taking care of your mental health. So, self-care is very important. Talking about issues, resolving the issues that you have in your life are important. They're things you need to focus on and get a handle on. So for myself, I want to lose 53 pounds to get down to my ideal weight. I'm about 228, and I want to get down to about 175, which is supposed to be my ideal weight for my height. So that's my main issue. The second thing that I want to do is reverse my type 2 diabetes through diet and exercise without getting on insulin or metformin. Type 2 diabetes is a lifestyle disease, so it can be reversed from what I have read. So that's the track I want to take. The third thing, in terms of health fitness, is to explore Ayurvedic medicine and to use Ayurvedic herbs and powders to do my best to regrow whatever hair on the top of my head that I can. Now that comes from my niece Annie's influence. She's always talking about hair, and initially I said, "Oh, I'll just listen to her about hair," and I said, well, let me try and see how much hair I can grow back, just so we had something to talk about. Well, as we started talking, I got more engaged in it and found sites that talked about Ayurvedic medicine, like Curly Proverbs. If you want to know anything about growing your hair, your natural hair back, check out Curly Proverbs. The host of that show, Farida, her hair is fabulous. And she really seems to know what she's talking about. And she, from watching her clips, has inspired me to say, you know what? Why not go for it? Why not use Ayurvedic herbs like amla or fenugreek to regrow your hair? Ayurveda has been around for like 5,000 years. So I have no idea if I'm going to be able to grow back my hair, but since I'm going to be going on this journey, why not do something that's really going to motivate me to keep working? So those are the three things that I want to be working on. If there's something uh, that you want to work on specifically, think about writing those things down and join me on this journey to uh, get myself into the best shape of my life so that I have the strength and the energy to enjoy this new chapter of my life. Okay, tip number 2 is getting your financial house in order. That's going to be a big one. So, as we get older, it's not easy to get by because most people have not planned for their retirement. One of the things that I plan on doing is, one, reestablishing my emergency fund, which luckily I had in place and gave me the financial means to be able to quit my job and get myself to this place where I am taking a chance on myself, becoming a creative entrepreneur, and hopefully, with a lot of hard work, I will be able to generate income from my blog and from this YouTube channel that will allow me to have not just passive income, but be my primary source of income as a business person, so that I can create space for me to be able to focus on my writing. For me, it's important to be doing a career that I'm passionate about, to have something that allows me to want to get up in the morning and do it. So one thing is to become a creative entrepreneur or an entrepreneur in your area of interest, whatever that may be, or simply looking for another side hustle where you can generate income so that you can have money to be able to start putting away into an emergency fund so that you have that when life happens. And it will. An emergency fund does work. I have one in an online high interest account at, I believe it's at Goldman Sachs, Marcus. But there are a lot of online accounts like that with 5% interest. And it's worth doing to just have money whenever you get something, put a percentage of whatever you earn into it and just don't think about it. And let it build as much as you can. The other thing you want to do, if you haven't already, is open up some sort of investment account for your retirement. And I would say a regular brokerage account to start putting whatever extra money you can towards your retirement. We have to start getting creative with how we want to be living our senior years. I'm not ready to retire, so I want to get myself into shape so that I can push off retirement as long as possible, and I can use this time while I have the strength to do it to make as much money as I can doing something that I love. and doing it for as long as I can so I can save my money and have the financial means to do all the things that I want to do in this next chapter of my life. For me, the next chapter of my life is not retirement, but it is choosing to live my life as fully as possible. I've seen that I've kind of let myself go, and I want to use this channel to get myself back. And part of getting myself back is tip number one. When I can accomplish tip number one, it will make tip number two a whole lot easier because I'll have the energy, the stamina to be able to work as hard as I can to make as many YouTube clips and blog posts as I can. Hopefully that'll be of value to folks that will enable me to get those 1,000 subscribers and help me on my journey to making this next chapter the most exciting it can be. I mean, I have to be honest, with all the stuff that happened over the last few years in that toxic environment, it forced me to get real with myself. And I'm a Nichiren Buddhist, so with SGI USA, and the tools that I learned from that practice enabled me to deal with these toxic situations that were happening and to really just look at my life and take accountability for myself to say, why did I let this happen? And now that I've addressed those issues for myself, I am in the happiest place of my life. So I want that to continue. So in order for that to continue, I'm creating this journey for myself where I'm getting myself into shape, tip number one. And tip number two, I'm rebuilding my emergency fund and getting myself as financially stable as possible while I pursue this new path in my life with as much passion and drive as I have. And I'll tell you, the energy and the drive and the commitment to do this, the idea of doing this right now, creating YouTube clips, is so not in my wheelhouse in terms of putting myself out there and seeing myself looking tired as hell. But I want to give myself a before and after. So this is my before. And hopefully, because I'm doing these things on camera, reporting about it, it will force me to be accountable to all of you, to all of my subscribers who are investing their time in me and hopefully getting inspired by me going after my goals. You'll go after your goals. So this whole process is, in a way, helping me to become accountable to achieve the life that I want to achieve and hopefully inspire my niece and inspire as many other people as possible, whether you're 50 and over or younger, to take control of your life and to craft your life the way you want to live it. So here we are. Okay, let's move on to, before we go on with the getting your financial house in order, the other thing that you need to consider, which is what I'm going to be working on, is learning how to live on a budget. That is something I have never honestly done. So now is the time for me to get that going. And also, because I've started this LLC, I also have to figure out how to become bookkeeper for Seeking Spirit Entertainment, because I am a one-man band. There's nobody else here helping me. I'm doing this all on my own. So one thing you may want to start learning how to do is figuring out how to create a budget, to itemize your expenses, and figure out if you need to create a side hustle in order to have increased income to be able to cover your expenses and put things away for retirement, for your brokerage account, for your emergency fund, and for simply having money to live in the world to go do things and not become a hermit like I was, just going through your day and not really taking advantage of your life. I live in Los Angeles, and it is a great city, and I don't know the last time I went out and just explored and enjoyed myself. Those are the things that I want to be able to do, but I'm willing to put in the work with creating these YouTube clips, with um, doing my blog. If I have to get a part-time job at some point, hopefully something I can do remotely that'll keep me afloat as I pursue this, goal of making my business work, I'm going to do it. Hopefully, I won't have to, because I will be churning out as much as I can to learn how to make these YouTube clips and make them something that's inspiring to people and that will help me get to that 1,000 subscriber threshold. So, that's another thing to think about for getting your financial house in order. And these 5 tips, I'm trying to talk about them now, but I'll also, over the course of time as I am making YouTube clips, I will be addressing these different issues, because those are the things I'm going to be working on. So tip number 3 is what? Okay, tip number 3, learning how to cook healthy, delicious meals from scratch like a pro. That is one of those tips, because we are living in a time where there is so much processed food, and the number of people who are diabetic grows at an alarming rate every year. It wasn't always like that. So for me, I wanted to be able to take control over my food intake as I'm trying to reverse my type 2 diabetes. So the more things I can learn to do from scratch, that's what I want to do. I bought this book. I think it's called Spoon. It's supposed to be like the definitive cookbook on Italian food. I grew up in Philadelphia. I love Italian food. I don't want to give up Italian food for the rest of my life, though I do want to reverse my type 2 diabetes. So what I want to do is get myself healthy as possible through exercise, but also learn how to make healthy meals. The Mediterranean diet is supposed to be one of the best diets in the world. Italy is a part of the Mediterranean. So I want to learn as many recipes from that book as possible. I had a fantasy of doing my version of Julie and Julia, where I'm blogging about the different recipes that I've made. I don't know if I want to go through that entire book, because the book is like really thick. But I want to learn some of those recipes that I'm excited about, and have that in my repertoire, but also have whole food plant-based meals, to have meals learning how to make fish really well in a healthy way, and to just avoid as much processed food as possible and as much just junk food as possible. So my goal is to be able to make a really great meal for one, or when a day comes when I want to go out and start dating again, to be able to cook a meal for my date that's delicious, that I'm passionate about, and will be fun to do. Because I like cooking, I like food, and I don't want to give up things that I enjoy, and I shouldn't be able to not cook foods in order to be healthy. I should be able to cook, food from scratch in a way that nourishes me, but fulfills that foodie desire to try different things. So I don't know how that's going to work, but I want to give that a shot, because part of living my best life is enjoying being alive. I don't want to feel like, you know, eating is a drudgery, uh, though it doesn't have to be something that's, this emotional, stuffing my emotions with food, but it can be an enjoyable experience, like a hobby. So that's how I want to look at it. So that's tip number 3, is learning how to cook like a pro so that you have control over your health, over the diet, over what you're putting into your body, and learning recipes that may be incredibly healthy, but also taste really delicious. And that may take some time to find all these things because some of the best foods are not that great for you. But those aren't the foods I want to learn. I want to learn to make foods that are healthy and also exploring different cultures that are of interest to me. So that's tip number 3, learning to cook like a pro. Tip number 4 is joining some sort of organization that provides you a source of happiness and gets you out into the world interacting with other people. We are living in a time where people are on their cell phones, where people are, especially after the pandemic, isolating themselves. There seems to be an epidemic of loneliness. Suicide rates seem to have been going up since the pandemic because people have been isolated. We're social creatures, and it's really important that we make sure as we get older that we have opportunities to interact with people. For myself, my being an SGI USA Nichiren Buddhist, that's the organization for me that I love being a part of because I've met so many people who are all about creating happiness for themselves and for others. And they're just generally nice, happy people. I've met my share of jaded individuals. I've allowed myself to be jaded, for a long period of time, and I'm trying to let that go because that's not really who I am at my core. And I found that this organization for me gets me out every week to chant with friends that I've made and provides me an opportunity to get out of my apartment, to get out into the world, and to socialize and interact with people who are about creating happiness, like I said, for ourselves and for others. So whatever organization works for you, great. Find an organization that gets you out of the house. It could be a bowling league. Whatever it is that gets you out of the house, interacting with people, and it will help you live longer. And especially as you get older, you don't want to start isolating yourself. You need to stay young mentally and physically by getting out in the world and having an organization that kind of forces you to do that just in the process of being involved. That's the best thing you can do. It's really, I think, one of those things that can help you with tip number 1 of taking care of your mental health. So think about an organization that you can join. Step out of your comfort zone and find something that interests you. It could be a cooking class, like I was talking about with tip number 3. But find an organization that allows you to engage with others. Okay, tip number 5 is kind of covered in the other tips, but it is developing a habit of self-care. So I know in my life, it's really easy to put myself on the back burner in terms of the priorities that I want to accomplish. I mean, I'm here right now because I put myself on the back burner. I've said, oh yes, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to work out this day, this day, this day. and I do it for a while and it falls off, or something else happens and I've gotten distracted. It is really important to invest in actions that are nurturing to yourself. I'm not saying don't be supportive of other people, don't have other people as a priority in your life, but you need to put yourself as your number one priority. It's like when they're on the airplane and they say you put the mask on yourself first and then you put it on your child, because it doesn't help your child if you put the mask on them first and then you pass out and then they're left on your own. You need to take care of yourself first so that you are in the mental, emotional place to be able to take care of the other people in your life that need you. So self-care to me is doing things like what I want to do with trying to grow the hair back on the top of my head. That may not be a realistic, thing for other people to say, why is he wasting his time doing that? His hair is gone. I don't care. I'm going to try and do it because if it comes back, hey, I'm happy. But if it doesn't, it's not like I'm not used to living, with the loss. I've mourned it, but if I have an opportunity to get it back, because again, curly proverbs, check that woman out. She seems to know her stuff, and I don't know if some of these Ayurvedic herbs may work on women and not work on men in the same way, but I figured, listen, I am a gay man. I got nothing to lose, so I'm going to give it a shot. And I've already tried using some stuff like fenugreek mixed with my conditioner. It's like really restored the curl pattern in my hair. So that totally like threw me into, I want to know everything about Ayurveda. To me, that's self-care. So I'll find that I spend time, I'll be watching TV, massaging my scalp, oiling my hair, just taking care of my hair with the different treatments that I found that are all natural and using natural herbs, because if you go on the YouTube rabbit hole, you will find that some of the products that are put into some hair products are not actually good for people. And the idea of it being absorbed into your scalp in the area of your brain kind of freaked me out when I saw some of them. So I'm really on this kick of using Ayurvedic medicine, using Ayurvedic herbs, healthy herbs, to take care of my hair, the hair that I have left, and see how much of it I can grow out and how much of the area I can replace. And it's just something that's fun and relaxing and gives me time. So that's the stuff I'm talking about with creating something that's self-care. For other people, that might be taking long hot baths. It may be taking time to work on a car that they have that they love doing. Something that gives you time to get out of your crazy making head when you're stressed out and sink into almost like a meditative state when you're doing stuff. So for me, that's all about trying to regrow my hair. And yes, I would like the hair to grow back, and I'll say it a million times. There we go. That's tip number 5. Find something for yourself that is all about self-care. And that is it. Those are my 5 tips. I'll be addressing them further in future videos. So I hope you will like this video. I know it's kind of rambling and all over there, but I want to introduce myself and get comfortable with doing this, and hopefully entice you to press the like button for this video, and hit the subscribe button to help me get to my 1,000 subscribers as quickly as possible because I want to make my business work. I want to make this next chapter of my life as exciting as possible, and I hope you will join me on this journey. So for now, I will say goodbye. Um, Next time, I want to create a video on me starting my exercise routine, getting started. So I will hopefully have something for you in the next week. I'm not sure yet how many videos I'll be making. For right now, I'm going to be doing one a week because it's a steep learning curve figuring out how to create a video. So bear with me. And I really hope that you join me on this journey and we get ourselves in shape mentally, physically, spiritually, living our best life financially, and just moving into this next chapter of my life and your life with as much happiness as we can create for ourselves. So thank you for staying around this long if you're here, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.